I'm also a type 1 diabetic.
I've got diabetes.
Hello friends and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily Reddit content. We are back once again with some rSlash entitled parents, and I know you're looking forward to it. I'm gonna try and knock this out real quick because I got a lot of stuff to do today, but I definitely wanted to get this video out for you guys, so let's hurry up and jump into it post haste. I need that toilet paper. Ooh, classic toilet paper tale. So here's a quick one that happened to me at the beginning of the quarantine, right when all the rushes on the supermarket started and the paper goods started vanishing. I got a phone call from my mother at like 7 a.m. telling me to switch on the news and that I should probably go run to the store right now. I look at my storage closet, one roll of TP left. Well, crap. Okay, guess I have to go. So I get to the first store. They have the groceries I need, but no TP. Go to the second store. Nada. A third store. Nada. Finally, I get on the highway and drive 30 minutes upstate. There on the shelves, under the red glow of the giant bullseye, are 4 27 packs of toilet paper. They are the only packs in the store. The only packs within miles. I've struck gold, folks. Curiously, there were several shoppers with carts. I only needed one thing, so I didn't take a cart. They were just sort of, I don't know, patrolling, if you will, as if they were in a slight orbit around these TP packages, with one eye looking out front and the other trained on the shelf. I got the feeling that no one wanted to be the first to make a grab for the TP. Well, let me tell you, I grabbed one of those packs so fast it was like lightning, faster than the speeding bullet, deadlier than the strike of the mantis shrimp. I like to wipe my ass, folks. We all do, OP. So, now I've got the TP in hand, white knuckles like you wouldn't believe, and I go to make a hasty beeline for the checkout. Immediately, one of the orbital shoppers, an early middle-aged woman with a half-full cart, starts chasing me, all the while shouting, "Hey, I need those! I have children! I need those! Don't you ignore me, you jerk! You don't need those! I have children!" I wonder if she has children. I don't know what it is with people like this, but they only seem to want things that other people have. You see, despite the fact that there were 3 unclaimed 27 packs of TP on the shelf, none of those other shoppers had made a move. This woman had to have mine, because I guess the idea that a single man could be buying TP when her children need it ground her gears that much. I mean, how did she know I didn't have 13 good Christian children of my own back home? I don't, but the point still stands. Anyways, I'm moving towards the register. It's all the way across the store. Ugh. And she's still hooting and hollering at me with the, "I have kids!" and the, "Stop ignoring me!" while following about 10 feet behind and closing. Finally, I've had enough. I turn, and loudly enough for half the store to hear, shout the first thing that popped into my head. "I have diarrhea!" It's perfect. Well, let me tell you, she came to a wide-eyed, screeching halt. Without a word, she turned around and went straight back from whence she came. I managed to get to the register without further incident. In fact, after my announcement, just about everybody was keeping their distance. I checked out, ran to the car, clutching that package like it was the Ark of the Covenant, and headed home to deal with my non-existent diarrhea. Imagine my shock when I got home to find my roommate proudly displaying the TP he had managed to find just 10 minutes from our apartment on his first try. It seems like the great toilet paper rush is finally grinding to a halt, which kind of makes me sad because I'm gonna miss stories like this. They're just so ludicrous and like hardly make any sense at all. I mean, entitled parents rarely make much sense, but especially when it comes to toilet paper, I don't understand why it is just so coveted. That exchange was just classic. "I have children. I have diarrhea. I am Groot."
I am Groot.
Let's jump into that next story. Entitled Mother Harasses Me, a Disabled Child, at Disney World. My I Don't Work Here Lady story blew up the other day, so I figured I'd share another classic entitled story over here too. Enjoy! Whenever you preface a post like this, I start thinking it's fake, that you're farming karma. So, let's see. Let's pass our judgment. Backstory. My parents took me, male, 10 at the time, to Disney World for my 10th birthday, 2013. Aww, that's so nice. I'm also autistic, and it's noticeable. It was especially obvious when I was younger, even more so because I was incredibly excited to be at Disney. Now, when you're at the Disney parks around your birthday, they give you this big old button that says, "It's my birthday!" along with a space where the cast member writes your name. I was very proud of my button and proudly wore it over the whole trip. On this particular day, my actual birthday, my parents and I were in the Magic Kingdom. We were around Tomorrowland, just about to enter the Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters. What's that? I've not been to Disney in so long. That's sad. You're making me sad now. I was carrying a Stitch plushie that I had gotten on the first day of the trip, and these two little kids around my age at the time, a boy and a girl, NK1 and NK2, which stands for nice kid because, they were nice. That's when their mom, EM, noticed my plushie. They got their mother's attention by saying, "Mommy, Mommy, look! He has a Stitch!" Their mother smiled at me, and then when she noticed my button, she said, "Happy birthday, young man!" NK1 and NK2 also saw it and happily told me happy birthday. I was excited that they noticed. I grinned and thanked them as I happily flapped my hands around a bit, something that I do when I'm excited. Nice Kid 1 and 2 didn't think anything of it, but Entitled Mother's face scrunched up as if I had just dropped the F-bomb. "What's the matter with you?" Entitled Mother asked rudely.
What's the matter with you?
I didn't hear her, but my parents did. My dad asked her what she just said. "Well, I don't want him doing that around my children," Entitled Mother said, disgusted. "He did nothing wrong," my dad said. "I don't want my children catching that and acting like him," Entitled Mother spat. Me and Nice Kid 1 and 2 were not paying attention to this at all. We were happily discussing Stitch. I was having an awesome time talking with my new friends when Entitled Mother grabbed their hands and rushed them into the queue for Buzz Lightyear before we could get there. "We deserve to go first after what your child did," Entitled Mother smugly stated. However, when you're autistic at Disney, you get a special pass to skip the queues. So, of course, we walk right on past EM towards the Fast Pass queue attendant, who directs us on what to do. Entitled Mother's throwing a fit about us cutting the line as my dad presents the pass to the attendant, and Entitled Mother totally shuts up seeing the actual pass. This was back before everything was all digital. Talk about justice. Justice. The funny part is that if she had bothered to look at the other pins on my backpack, she'd have known from the get-go that I was autistic, as I have a couple buttons there in case I get separated from my parents. Also at the time, Entitled Mother was just mad that we skipped the line. I had no idea she was all ableist beforehand. Again, me and Nice Kid 1 and 2 were having a nice happy little kid conversation, so this didn't ruin my day at all. Side note, a lot of park guests and cast members saw my buttons and I flapped my hands every time. Sure, I got a few raised eyebrows, but nobody said anything, especially not as blatantly rude as EM. Even the characters went out of their way to show their excitement. That was such an awesome trip. I hope Nice Kid 1 and Nice Kid 2 are doing well, and I still sleep with my Stitch plush every night. I don't understand why flapping your hands would set somebody off like that, but there certainly are people out there in the world like that, unfortunately, so I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility. I do question whether, like, people actually believe that autism is contagious. Like, is it airborne? What's going on with that? Now I just want to imagine, like, an autism supervillain. He goes around spreading autism, and Super Karen flies in with her crystals and essential oils to spray on him and try and stop him. I need to get back to Disneyland soon. As soon as I go back to California, we take a trip to Disneyland. I got 2 kids. They've never been to Disney. My God. I can't let them miss out on that. Jeez. What kind of dad would I be? Anyways, I'm getting way off topic. Let's hop into the next story. Semi-related title. This one managed to call me out personally. I used to think that some of these entitled parent stories were fake, until I encountered the most entitled mother ever today. I'm a parent, and when I read some of these entitled parent stories, I just think that there's no possible way that someone is that entitled. Then, it happened. I encountered an entitled mom. And now I've been humbled because I realize I was wrong. There are some crazy entitled people out there. Right you are. M/OP, that's me, EM, entitled mom. So today, I had to go to the grocery store as our family's low on food. It's warm here, so I wore a tank top and jeans. I'm also a type 1 diabetic and wear an insulin pump with a continuous glucose monitor.
I've got diabetes.
You can see the monitor on my arm. I'm at the store when my pump starts beeping, alerting me that my insulin is getting low in my pump. So I pull out the pump and silence the alarm, and I can hear a kid behind me say,
Mommy, that looks like a cool toy. Can I get it?
I ignore it until I hear entitled mother,
Excuse me, I need your video game.
as she's tapping me on the shoulder. OP, ma'am, I do not have a video game with me. Entitled mother,
Of course you do. I see it in your pocket there. You're too old for video games. Give it to my kid.
OP, ma'am, you're mistaken. This is a medical device and I couldn't finish because she reached over and grabbed my pump. I smacked her hand, but she had a death grip on my pump and ended up pulling it out of my body. I started screaming, telling her that there's a needle at the end of the tubing and that she needs to be careful that her kid doesn't get hurt. The employees come running into the aisle and start asking what happened. Entitled mother,
This crazy person just pulled this thing out and tried to stab my kid with a needle on it, and I want them arrested.
OP, actually that is my insulin pump, but you pulled it out of me because you thought it was a video game. As I'm bleeding from where she pulled it out from onto my shirt. Shortening a long story, entitled mother insists that I came after her because I'm crazy and hate children. Police are called because she wants to press charges. Police review the tapes, see that I'm telling the truth, and arrest entitled mother. I leave without my groceries because my pump is freaking out that my sugar is rapidly rising, as I don't have it inserted in my body giving me a steady stream of insulin. Just typing this post has me shaking my head because it seems made up, and if it didn't happen to me, I would question it. The stories where entitled mothers are always like, you're too old for video games. It's always kinda get me triggered. I'm like, dude, I'm never gonna stop playing video games. I don't care how many times you say it, Karen. Me and Karen, we're probably the same age at this point, but at least I have a pastime that's more fun than watching reality shows and hanging out at Starbucks, right? High five, all around. Anyways, let's jump into that last story. Entitled mother spits in my face when I won't accept her counterfeit money. Classy. I was just doing my usual thing, working the electronics section at my job, helping customers as best I could, and doing my best not to get fired for being on my phone. Classic. Relatable. When this mom and her daughter come up asking to get one of the few Nintendo Switches we had left, along with a copy of Animal Crossing. Ooh, yeah. I pulled it out for them and brought it to the register, and the total came out to just under $400. The mother, henceforth to be referred to as entitled mother, hands me 4 $100 bills, and this is where the problem started. Recently, the store I work at has had a massive issue with counterfeit bills, so the new store policy is to run any bill over $20 through this machine that will test it and determine if it's legit or not. In the event that the machine determines them to be a fake, we're ordered to call a manager down right away, and under no circumstances are we to give the money back. I had already had some small red flags going off since these bills felt way too much like regular paper, but when I started to run the bills through the machine, entitled mother started demanding to know what I was doing, which set off another red flag in my brain. I let her know what I was doing and she got very defensive right away, telling me how the bills were real and she had just picked them up from the bank. When I told her that it was just the store policy, she got very irritated and told me to hurry up, and she looked really jumpy, just constantly looking around and swaying back and forth like she was on something. I ended up running all the bills at least 5 times each, and every time the machine said that they failed whatever authenticity check it had run on them. At that point, I started following store policy and calling the manager down, while trying to play it off like it's just a simple glitch that we need fixed. I guess she got spooked by that because she immediately demanded that I give her the money back, saying how she'll just go somewhere else. When I told her that she couldn't, she went into full Karen meltdown mode, pulling out her phone to record me, demanding to tell her my full name, and worst of all, insinuating that I was treating her this way because she was a person of color. For whatever reason, the manager was taking forever to come down, and things were only getting worse as Entitled Mother continued to make more of a scene. When out of nowhere she tried reaching over the counter to grab the switch, I managed to pull it out of her reach just in time, and got on the walkie-talkie to call security, when all of a sudden she spits in my face, calls me a grunt, and then storms out of the store with her kid, who was screaming and crying. Maybe 5 minutes later, the manager comes down, and I explain what happened. He ran the bills through the machine and got the same result of all of them failing. And maybe half an hour later, I was giving a statement to some rather disinterested-looking cops. I called my boss after that, and she said that I could go home a few hours early if I wanted to, which I took her up on. I got home, took a couple showers, and thought I'd share how my crappy day went. Sorry for any grammar or spelling mistakes. I'm still kind of pissed. I wish someone would pull out their phone and try to record me for some stupid stuff like this. I would like, what up, it's your boy, Dayton Does. Follow me on the Twitter. But anyways, friends, I gotta run. Busy day ahead. Like, comment, sub, wash your hands. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, bye-bye.